join off of you anyway, so... The weather is so garbage. I mean, little storms of rain, like, my whole town is practically being drowned. There's, like, our bus station, right? Flooded.
Hello, good evening, and a warm welcome to you. Welcome back to World Online Racing. My name is Frostbeth, and I'll be your commentator once again for tonight. But I'm not alone, as per usual. Joining me on my side is our good friend Epic. How are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Not bad. A little bit tired, but you know, there's a lot of epic racing coming up, so I'm sure that will wake us
Definitely.
up pretty much.
I mean, it's Saudi Arabia, isn't it? It's Jeddah.
Yes.
It's the second fastest track for average speed. I mean, that's going to bring something very interesting for tonight.
It's also the penultimate race, which means things are definitely going to heat up. We are looking at the standings. I'll show you to the standings to you right now. Justin Arts, thanks to his victory last week and Zalen's 4th place in Mexico, has brought himself within 6 points once again of the championship lead. There's a big however, though. I'm not sure, Epic, if you saw it in the Discord, but his steering wheel broke. And now he has reverted to his old steering wheel. And that is actually the Logitech G29, I believe he said. So whether that is going to affect him in the championship, he said himself that he will probably lose it now. But we'll have to find out.
Definitely. One driver I want to talk about tonight, and this is a driver that I do enjoy watching quite often, and that is actually the man of none other than, yes, Julian. I mean, we speak about him every so often, though. We don't speak about him a lot, but we do speak about him. Julian, a little bit of a rough race last time round. Didn't really win out, necessarily. He struggled a bit. Same with the previous race as well. He struggled a bit against his teammate, hasn't he, Lucas Baisner? He's sort of fallen slightly short in sort of both race and qualifying performances.
I'm looking at the standings right now. Lucas Baisner, of course, out of the teammates, is the only one who scored points in every race. Julian's missed two races out of the points, but the other results are 3rd, 4th twice, a win, and then a 3rd last week. So he's 3rd in the standings right now. So at least in race pace, he's doing quite brilliant.
Yeah.
It's Lucas that actually needs to finish on the podium sooner or later.
I mean, what I meant from that, no offense to Julie, what I actually meant from that is that, when you look at it, when you're missing a race or two, when you're not there, sort of when you're not in the points all the time compared to your teammate, it shows that maybe there's not necessarily a skill difference or a problem. It just means maybe you just need to find some more consistency. Of course, like you said, he missed 2 races, but he has missed out on the top 10 twice as well, which is, of course, something that his teammate hasn't done. And so maybe there's a little bit of room there to see these final 2 races come round, to see him try to bag maybe another position or 2. But Julian, I have to say, he's been by far one of the most consistent drivers on the grid.
Yeah. Switching our attention now to one of the Williams drivers, that is Isaac Lead, currently sitting 6th in the standings, P5 last week in Mexico. As he goes through turn 1 and the turn 2. Do keep in mind, 27 corners. I believe that's the most out of all tracks on this calendar specifically, but I believe on the whole calendar as well. Now through the snaky section from turn 4 onwards, all the way down to turn 12. Very tricky to get right, and he already got it wrong there. Invalidated it straight away, so that means we're going to switch a little bit further back. Let's find out who is on a hot lap still. Is it Lighty?
No, it isn't. No, it's actually his teammate Thomas Lang who's on the lap, actually.
Take it away then.
So, heading down towards the hairpin. We've seen some decent performances from Thomas before. Let's see if he can put on another great performance here tonight. Very swift through the hairpin now, coming through this long right-hander, which is more of a kink, then into, again, another small kink, into the right-left, which hits you very quickly before, you got to make sure you don't hit that wall on the exit like I usually do. Now, heading down this back straight, of course, opening the DRS. It's a bit later on this year's game. And now, coming round to some of the fastest corners, of course, we saw Charles Leclerc crash at this corner, I believe, in 2022. And now, we're coming down to the final 2 straights, and only one corner divides these 2 straights, and that is, of course, the hairpin where Max Verstappen made a mistake on his qualifying lap in 2021. Now, breaking into the hairpin about 70 meters, 70 to 80 meters, depending on how confident you are on the brakes, and around the final corner he goes. Very nice from Thomas Lang, really using all of the track, using all of his ERS as well. Numbers to the line, 1 minute 27.608 is the first lap time.
Not too shabby. Zelen Beater actually did cross the line. Yeah, there he goes. Quite a lot faster than Thomas Lang there. And Diego Zorzo going faster also with the first drive actually to go in the 1 minute 26.977. Julian tries to follow suit. He's heard your comments and he's trying to put on a good performance so far on the front row as Boba slots in third. Tonight the only Sauber so far. I believe a driver might join later down in the session, but I'm not entirely sure. I was trying to find somebody on a hot lap. Florian Van Zelt is invalidated, going back into the pit lane. His teammate then, Lolo Vera, has just started
He's
one.
also invalidated.
Who
Wow,
else?
a lot of people struggling. But we got Lewis Walker, actually, by the way. We haven't said his name in a while.
No.
We haven't said his name in a while. It's been a while since we last saw this man. Of course, he did race last season as well. We spoke about him a lot more back then.
He's missed a lot of races this season.
Yeah, he has. I must say, it's a rare name that we see now.
Wow.
Lewis Walker on return. This man goes fastest out of everybody on the first runs, and by a decent amount as well. Because look at the gaps. You're looking third and fourth. Balin and Lickies and Julian split by just 5 thousandths of a second. This is how close qualifying is. And we see it almost every single race, but we still get amazed every single race we come to. But I mean, that lap by Lewis Walker just shows that, you know, the tiniest bit more performance you find in one single corner can really be the difference between possibly P4 and P1.
That's how tight it is at the moment. Also, the difference between Jacob Stroot, Boba, very small. Same for Zalen Bieder and Justin Aerts. The championship rivals very close together, but only 7th and 8th as we watch Lolo Vera coming through the final corner. He's on a hot lap, the only driver so far to go fast right there. Going through all those ghosted cars across the line is a 27.6. Would have been brilliant if it was the other way around. But for now, though, 12th and last of the drivers who've set a lap time. Everybody behind him back out on track for another attempt. I think, yes, it is Balin Lickies who's going back into the pit lane. Lewis Walker as well. That means we're going to have to wait a little while for the next driver to start a hot lap. Let's see. Is it Isaac Lead next up?
Yes,
then let's switch to him.
Like you said, actually, bit of a disappointing lap for Lolo Vera, by the way. He did get held up by traffic, I do believe, into that final corner, though. Of course, they are ghosted, but it just puts your sight off a little bit when you head through. You know, it's always the distractions that get the drivers. But I can't believe that will be his final lap time to the day. I think we'll definitely see more and more performance coming from the Aston Martin. But from one Mercedes power car to another, it's time to look at Isaac Williams now. So he makes his way around the first sector. Very smooth from that blue-coloured car as he makes his way round to end off the first sector. It's not a bad first sector. Purple it says, but we're never too sure. Definitely something that Isaac Lee does need to do. We've seen him. He's had some good performances in qualifying. He has struggled in other performances. But I have to say one thing that we cannot count him out of is his race performances, because he has had some races where, you know, he's gotten unlucky a few times. I think we can all agree to that. But one of the biggest things that I constantly see is that he gains some of the most positions off of lap 1.
Yeah, he and Lucas Beisner are one of the few drivers who've competed in every single race. Only that Isaac Leite has got 1 DNF while Lucas hasn't. But he's still a little bit further up than Lucas in the standings, currently sitting in P6, as I said before. As we see him go through the final corner, let's see where this man can put his Williams on the grid. His teammate currently sitting in 10th, that is Emil Lundell, 27.5. It's going to be a 27.0. Look at that, third fastest, 2 milliseconds quicker than the Alpine of Balin Lickies. Next to cross the line, I think, is one of the Ferraris who is about to start the hot lap. That's Iker Piasecki, but behind him, I think Lucas Beisner. Yes, he is. He's about to finish his lap as well. On the main straight, DRS wide open at the inside, just within the white lines, across the line, and he is now the fastest man of them all by 6 milliseconds quicker than Lewis Walker. This is promising to be an absolute cracker, isn't it?
It definitely is. I mean, we've just seen Lighty, by the way, go P4. But one thing I am noticing, there's not a lot of track evolution from the first runs to the second runs. That's something I've just noticed. As Florian Svelsnelzer goes into P11. Fanzelter. I couldn't even say his name right the first time. I got it the wrong way round. But he only goes P11, so some struggles from Aston Martin still. I mean, you know, when there was, I believe, wasn't it Ivan Santamaria in that car, if I'm correct? Very fast. Aston Martin were. They've struggled a bit since he's not been around.
Yeah.
But I must say, still, even with that, the track evolution, I don't think is going to be on these drivers' sides here tonight because it so far hasn't been.
It might still happen, you never know. I'm currently watching Balin Telecki. He's currently 4th in the standings. Technically, he still has a chance at the title, but that means both his teammate and Justin Aerts have to perform really poorly. 42 points behind the lead at the moment as he goes through Sector 1. He's 27 milliseconds quicker than his previous attempt, which is going to bring him just that little bit closer to provisional pole. He's at least now ahead of Isaac Lead and potentially could be quicker than Lighty as well. I think he might be in with a chance here for pole position tonight if he keeps this up. Then through the middle sector right here, flat out as he negotiates his way through turn 16 all the way to turn 22. A ghosted car there, one of the Aston Martins. Not in the way, frankly. Thankfully, actually, I should say, as Boba goes fastest with a 26.7, which is massive. Balin Telecki 68 milliseconds quicker through the middle sector, so that means he's only got, well, technically one big corner to go, and that is of course the hairpin of turn 27 coming up right now. His teammate is a bit further ahead on the road, that is Zalan Beater, only in 13th at the moment as he goes back into the pit lane. Oh, a bit of a slide coming out of the corner right there. Thankfully, the car still seems to be okay as he comes across the line. What is it going to be? It is an improvement, but it's not by much, and it is up to P6 for Balin for now.
Yeah, I mean, you just covered one driver, specifically the man who sits in first, Boba. What a lap time that was. By the way, Diogo Zorzo as well. Jacob Strobe goes into P2, into a 0.8. Still, that's about... He's still quite a bit behind, though. I must say, still 700s behind. Lewis Walker!
I think the traffic evolution is happening.
That is a lot faster. 2/10. That's not what you expect to see.
No, that is impressive, honestly. And it does show, I think, the track listened to your comments about evolution, and now it's happening all of a sudden. I mean, that is a big improvement, and he's more than 2/10 clear from Boba right now. So that is something to look forward to see if he can go even quicker than that. How close can we get to the 1:25s? I doubt we'll reach those lap times, but it should be an awful lot closer. Diego Zorzo invalidated through the middle sector, back on his way to the pit lane then for him, as his teammate Tomasz Buldra is starting his lap.
Let's watch this lap actually, because I'm quite interested to see. We know Tomasz Buldra is a fast driver. We've seen it. Every driver in this tier, let's be honest, is ridiculously fast. But one thing that I have noticed with Tomasz Buldra, he has gotten unlucky for quite a bit of the season. I mean, he's been either taken out or he's just made sometimes, for instance, I believe, I can't remember which race it was, he made a wrong strategy call and he went from being, I think it was P6 or something, and he lost out on points. It's, you know, the smallest of margins are really hurting drivers. You know, we've seen it this season that, you know, one mistake is leading to a driver, for instance, failing to score 8 points and instead they score none. So, you know, for Tomasz Buldra, I don't think, you know, a championship was sort of in contention after round one, but he has still shown pace, and, you know, I'd love to see him again next season. Or, you know, I want to see him perform well in these last two races, but I'd love to see him next season pushing for a championship.
Yeah, so far McLaren in general has had a struggle. Tomasz Buldra joined since Brazil, which he started with a DNF, then a second place in Italy was the best result. Last week only P12. And before that in Bahrain, P7. So, yeah, pretty much a mixed bag, as you said. He's missed 2 races as well. His teammate is Fantamashi. We haven't seen him for a while. Has had a much worse season, though. So let's see what Tomasz Buldra can do as he goes across the line. Ooh, 17th fastest.
Yeah, and only a 27.4, you know, looking almost 9/10 off of the pace of pole. And in this tier, let's be honest, 9/10. You might go, that's not that big between, you know, 1st and 17th. But as you could see, even though he's 9/10 off, he's still 2/10 off of sort of 14th, 13th. You know, he's still quite far away, even from that group. So I'm a bit worried here now for Tomasz Buldra. Will he have time to do another lap? He should have time. But it's not so much, will he have time to do another lap? It's, can he be able to hook up the lap and improve?
Yeah, I think Marini on the chat makes a good point as well. This track, you need to be completely comfortable. When the walls are so close, this track is so fast, it's quite scary to get your lap exactly right. Lucas Beisner, in the meanwhile, improves to a 26.7, which is still more than 2/10 away from Lewis Walker, but at least he's now on the front row. This man is very, very hungry, I think, for a podium. He's been finishing in the points all season long, but never, ever has he come close to the podium. His best result is still only P5 in Abu Dhabi. So there's a lot of things for him to find. Let's see if he can do it tonight here in Saudi Arabia. In the meanwhile, let's see who else is on a hot lap at the moment. See several drivers without an outlap or pit thingy behind their name. Who's this?
He's around? Yeah, Thomas Lang. By the way, I just saw Zalan Mbida improve to 4th. Thomas Lang's coming into the pits though.
Quite aggressively as well.
Good lap from Zalan Mbida actually. Quite a very good lap. He was down in 16th, by the way, a minute ago. Now he's 4th. He's gained, a massive 4 tenths. But I don't think he'll have time to do another lap.
No. Well, we've got to watch his rival now, though, Justin Hartz. Started his qualifying there with his... it reverted to the G-Force, or the Logitech G29 steering wheel. So let's see if that's affecting his qualifying so far. 11th fastest, which, if you look at his qualifying performance in general, for him isn't all that bad, to be fair.
So round where he's been actually, the last few races.
So
slightly faster actually, because if you cast your mind back all the way to Abu Dhabi, he had his worst qualifying performance. I think equally worse in Monza as well, where he got P14.
I mean,
but at the moment,
even lower, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it might have been slightly lower. I don't think he went below the top 15 though, if I remember correctly. But yeah, he's had a couple of performances where he has struggled, but at the moment his pace isn't bad. And let's be honest, if he improves by a 10th, he's up to P7.
Not yet,
he's
though.
down by 26,000, and he validates, but he is close to the pits, so he might just be able to run it back. He might just be able to run it back to the pits.
2.5 minutes.
He might just be able to squeeze it in because he is close. He's close to the pits.
Yeah, it's going to be very tight though, as Boa clashes a little bit with the wall. He is starting another hot lap right here. He was already on one, abandoned it.
He improves. No, he
actually,
improved.
Never mind. He improves, yeah, but he turned on his DRS quite late.
And very, very close. But it's still 26.6 on the front row. I think I just saw Takubi started a lap, by the way.
Yeah, the
only
driver.
other driver to be on a lap. The only driver without a lap, without a full lap time so far. I'm not sure what to really say about Takubi. We've had him sort of 2-3 times now in the championship. He's raced a few times, but he's yet to really make an impact. He's struggled in qualifying. He's then proceeded to struggle in races, and I know from his history he's a very consistent and very fast driver. He goes off the track and invalidates, and I think that's his qualifying over, and it's more disappointment for the Ferrari man here and Ferrari altogether here tonight. We've got Lolo Vera who's on a lap, another driver that we love to talk about. I don't want to sound mean, but Lolo Vera, another sort of underperforming driver. Time to go in the middle of the track. Holy. This is going to be very, very dangerous and very close. And that car is shimmying, by the way. I've just noticed
it's going absolutely ham at the moment.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it has disappeared quite quickly.
Scared the hell out of me there.
I can understand, yeah.
Isaac Leitz is on a lap. He's the next one on a lap, actually.
Yeah, it's fine.
The disappointment, we said about underperforming. The minute I said that, Lolo Vera hits the wall. Yeah, I mean, I was going to say about Lolo Vera, had some good qualifying performances, had some decent race performances, but it's never gone right for Lolo Vera in the races. But I mean, it's kind of the same for Isaac Leitz as well, isn't it? It hasn't always gone perfectly for him, and he has struggled from time to time. But I'm feeling like this could be a good night for Isaac Leitz.
Yeah, I feel like he should have been on the podium at least once, shouldn't he?
Yeah, but he is up by a 10.5 in the first sector, so he's obviously made some sort of small mistake in the first sector. By the way, these two cars in front of him, Zalan Mbida and Justin Ertz, will not make it to the line in time.
No.
They're not going to make it, and that's going to be disappointment, because that's the championship rivals, remember? That's the top two in the championship. Boba retires, but that means they're finished, P4 and P11, and that leaves Justin with a big hole, sort of left in his heart a little bit, going into this race, knowing he's so far behind Zalan Mbida in position. But here comes Isaac Leitz. Crosses the line, he goes P4 onto the second row. We have his teammate, Emil Lundell, who's coming up to the line next. He's actually invalidated. Some disappointment there. I think it's
Diego Zorzo It's the next one to cross the line. 26.9 at the moment. Where can he go to? He is very quick, but he goes third fastest. Probably not what he would have wanted. He will be starting on the second row at best because there's drivers around him still on their way. Thomas Lang, no, it's Lighty across the line, 8th fastest. But I gotta switch my attention. Lewis Walker is in first still, but Lucas Beisner is still on his way. 75 milliseconds sector 1, 20 milliseconds in sector 2. Lost a little bit of time then through the middle sector. So that means one more tricky corner to go for him and try to claim pole position. But he'll have to find 2 whole tenths of a second to be able to do that. That will be an absolute miracle. Can he do it? Where can he find the power? Goes to it straight away. Doesn't bang his rear wheels into the wall as the DRS goes wide open. It's, too much out of the line and invalidated straight away. That is unfortunate.
Disappointment. Yeah, big
and now only
disappointment
4th.
for Lucas Beisner.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4th, but still very close to the man leading. And with Lucas Beisner's amazing pace he's had, really puts him close. But let me just say, him being 4th, he was still 2 tenths away versus Diego Zorzo and Boba, who were both within a 10th. So
Exactly,
Lucas Beisner in qualifying pace was a bit off because even Lucas Walker didn't improve on his final run.
So Lewis Walker from pole position, Boba, Diego Zorzo, Lucas Beisner, Isaac Leeds completing the top 5. Then down there, Zallenbieder, Jacob Stroot, Florian Pfanzelter, Balin Telekis and Julian all in the top 10. Then your championship rival from Zallenbieder only in 14th from here on out. But we do know Justin is really, really, really good at making up a lot of places, staying out of trouble, avoiding all the chaos. So let's see if he can do that tonight as well.
Although we can't lie, there is still an element that he has struggled to pull some positions back. Monza is one of them. Qatar is another. Sometimes Justin can do it. He's shown it so many times this season. But he's also shown that not everything is redeemable. And this is really the race where it's make or break for his championship.
Yes, this is crucial. He has to make up the place. He has to be at least
He has
within
to
one
beat
car
Zallenbieder.
of Zala. He has to beat him, in fact. That would be much more ideal. 6 points is a tiny gap, but it's going to be really hard to close that gap with one race remaining. So rather do it now than do it next week in Japan. You're not seeing this, but we're watching the start with the ghosted cars as the lobby will get a restart. We're showing you the calendar actually, but I think much more useful information for you viewers would be the standings once again, because there you can see those small gaps. There's 4 drivers within a technical chance of the championship. That is Zallenbieder, Justin Aerts, Julian and Balin Telekis. Ivan Santamaria is not racing tonight, so he's completely out of it, and everybody below him is already out as well. So, well, on paper, Zallen and Justin are going to have to battle it out, but Justin is going to have to come from far behind. And I'm really curious to see how he's going to manage it around a tight track like this.
The thing is, it isn't just a small... if for instance, Justin was 2 or even 3 places back, I would say there's a chance.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the fact that he is, those massive 7 places behind. That's very difficult, especially because we've seen Zallenbieder drive. He is, as a championship contender... against Justin, qualifying and race-wise, I would say Zallenbieder has a better chance because he's more consistent in qualifying.
True, yeah. They both have a similar thing of being patient, staying out of trouble, going for the overtaking opportunities when they're actually safe to do, is something they both have in common, and I think that mostly explains why they are right now fighting for the top spots in the championship.
I mean, remember back in Australia, all that long time ago,
the first
when
race,
we were saying when we were talking about RB dominance, or VCARB if you want to call it that, with of course Justin Aerts and his good teammate Jay Kennedy, and we were talking about how they're gonna really dominate this season. They're gonna find it really easy. The constructors, we know who's gonna win that, and we know that Justin's probably gonna win. It'll either be Justin or Jay that are going to win.
How times have changed then.
Yeah, and now, let's be honest, they have dropped the ball. They have dropped the ball this season. Because from how Justin was in the first 3 races, he's not been the same since. I'm not sure what's happened to Justin, because he was by far, I'd say the most capable driver on the grid in the first 3 races. And then he's just seemed to slip further and further back. And the worst part about it is it's been in in the sort of important stage around some tracks like Saudi Arabia, it's been in the it's been in the qualifying that he slipped back. And in this grid that is literally split by a few thousandths of a second at a time, it's not great being a couple of places behind, you know. And especially when you come to a track, for instance, like Saudi Arabia, which is so heavy on DRS, slipstream, and DRS trains, it's going to be really difficult for him to gain lots of places during the race. But I think the battle really for Zalambida here is that he doesn't make a mistake.
No,
because we've seen it.
He's got it all to lose.
We've seen Lolo Vera there in qualifying. The pressure got to him, and he hit the wall.
Yep.
So, it's small mistakes like that. The most minuscule mistakes are causing drivers to DNF, to crash. Luckily for Lolo Vera, that was just in qualifying, and he's got another chance in the race. But if Zalambida was to do that during the race, we'd probably say that Justin Hurts might have just taken the championship if he has a good finish at the end of the day. But at the same time, the one thing that Zalambida has in his pocket is he doesn't need to overtake. He doesn't need to fall back either. He can stay in his place and still take a bigger lead in the championship. But it's Justin who has to make all the effort and has to take all the risk of making overtakes and dive bombs and this and that to ultimately catch up to Zalambida. And that's before he even battles Zalambida.
Well, again, he's done it before. He might be able to do it again. He's also the only driver in this tier to have more than one race win to his name. He won in the first race. He won in the previous race. Everybody else who's won a race has only done it once so far. That makes 8 different winners out of 9. Let's see if we can crown a 9th one tonight. Whether it will actually be Zalambida or not, because despite him leading the championship, he's not won a race. He's done 2 second places, 3 third places, and then a 6th, 10th, and twice in P4. So he will be very hungry for that first position, but he also knows he's got a lot to lose if he goes too aggressive. But knowing Zalen, it's unlikely for him to do so. There's more drives behind him who've got a lot less to lose, who will probably go more aggressive to gain that victory for themselves.
Very true. I think when I look at Justin Hurts, I think one of the most, I'd say probably one of the most complete drivers, that you could go. Pace in qualifying, been a bit of a struggle, but when he's on it, he's really quick. And in the races, he's by far inside of the top 3 best drivers in the races.
Yeah.
But the only thing that's letting him down versus, for instance, Zalambida, who I'd say has so far, I know he hasn't gotten a win to his name, but he's been by far the most sort of complete package, if you get what I mean. Consistent, constantly up inside the top 5. Whereas we've seen Justin Hurts sort of go up and down the field in qualifying and the races. So in this case, if I was to say who do I think is going to win the championship right now, I'd say Zalambida's got the strongest chance. But I can see Justin Hurts pulling off a behemoth of a race here and an outstanding performance next race in the finale. I can really see that in my mind, it's playing a bit in the back that I could see that really happening. Because Justin Hurts, we've seen him before, when he piles on the pressure onto drivers, he really does get away with it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm curious to see what the chat actually thinks about who's going to be champion. If you're able to type in the chat, let us know who you think out of these 2 drivers would become the champion after the final race in Japan. Zalambida or Justin Arts. And keep in mind, both are from the same racing team, so there's nothing to choose in between that. It's just between the 2 drivers, the Alpine driver of Zalambida or the RB driver of Justin Arts. As the lobby is about to get underway, actually, we're about to get going for 25 laps of racing around Saudi Arabia. And we've both got a good feeling this is going to be a great race once again. Will we see a new winner? Will we see perhaps a champion crowned already tonight, depending on the result of Zalen and Justin? Can Julian throw something in the works tonight? And maybe even Bayland. It's all to play for with 19 drivers coming up here in Saudi Arabia. No weather, of course, that is going to be of any particular interest in terms of rain. This is, after all, in the middle of the desert, and any rain here
You
would
say
be
that.
a big shock.
You say that. Wait till we get to the grid, then we'll see it.
Wouldn't it be fascinating if it actually rained down? I would actually completely have jinxed it.
I'd actually kind of love that to some degree.
Yeah, it would be
One
hilarious.
driver, though, that's going to be a blast from the past for us, and somebody that we've quite enjoyed talking about before, and we've loved commentating on, Rene Klein. He returns tonight.
Yeah, it's
We're
been a
having
while,
quite a
hasn't
lot of
it?
people returning, aren't we? We've got Lewis Walker, and then we've got Rene Klein also returning tonight. It's quite nice because if you guys don't know, just to everybody who's watching, these are guys who have raced in previous seasons. Of course, Frostbreath, you joined me last season for this. I know these guys from even further back, from over a year ago, actually. So for a lot of these drivers, these are the drivers who I actually first commentated on PC. So I must say
in
it
the
is
good
quite,
old days,
it's
isn't
quite
it?
nice. Yeah, good old, great old days.
Yeah, I've been here since season 16, so 2 seasons ago then, but still a lot of names I need to familiarize myself with, and that terms, you of course have the advantage there.
I have to say, when it's going to come down to the race here, strategy's not as important around Saudi Arabia. That's one thing I have realized with this year's game. Strategy it's either hard to medium or medium to hard, and drivers actually seem to be favoriting the medium to hard strategy because the grip they need at the start of the race. And because their fuel, of course, empties out, the hards don't get... It's a bit easier then. So I'm not sure what we will see from the drivers, like, exactly. But I do see sort of a very sort of... Actually quite a traditional strategy that you'd usually see, like, for instance, real life F1. But I think the driver that I think really Balin, I think really every other driver should be a bit worried about is Lewis Walker, because that man he's turned up for once in like months, and
he's there straight away.
Blasting past. Yeah,
it's impressive
he
how
was
you
in
can
the
be
leader's
absent
zone.
for so long and then back in business straight on it on a track like this is quite impressive in my opinion. Even
He's very much in
defeating
a
the
league of
people.
his own.
Oh, well, there we go. We're actually gonna get on our way already. Is ghosting actually still on? Because all cars are pretty much invisible. What's going on here then? A drive-through penalty straight away. Yep, ghosting is still on. That is a major issue, and I think that's going to be another restart, isn't it?
I think so.
That's a little bit of an oopsie.
Ghosting still on? My question is, how do you accidentally keep ghosting on? I'm very confused by that.
Well,
Look
we're
up
going to have
over.
to wait a little bit more than this.
Oh my god. No, it's actually quite... Oh.
There he goes into the wall.
I must say, the only thing that I'm not saying anything bad about the lobby host, but how do you get it wrong? I'm quite intrigued by it because it is only one setting.
Probably a little bit too focused on getting the grid ready or something like that. Either way, it means that this time we'll actually go out for a little bit of a break, refresh our water supply one way or another. And we'll see you in a few minutes when we get underway for real. Welcome back. This is actually take 3 of us attempting to start a race, or technically take 2. Back in business once again, 19 drivers readying up. This time, collisions have been enabled, and therefore we shall have a proper race of 25 laps around Saudi Arabia, with Lewis Walker from pole position, Takubi all the way starting from the back without a lap time. He's going to have to find something special in order to climb the places back into the points. He's joined since Bahrain, finished 12th right there. Last week he wasn't there. No, actually Bahrain he didn't finish, and then in Italy, Monza, it's where he finished in P12. So he's been around for a little while now. But Takubi from 19th is going to have to find the pace. Once again, drivers are going to have to find their car set up, get a tire strategy going. I mean, the things went so quick, I couldn't see which tires everybody started them. I think Lewis Walker, at least, had chosen the medium tires from pole position, hadn't he?
Yeah. I mean, we've already said about strategy. I don't actually know what to say in this part now.
Yeah, me neither.
I have a mini script for this, and I've said my mini script, and now I don't know.
We've run out of things to say, basically.
Yeah, this is how the race is going to be, guys. I'm sorry to say, our script got ruined from the first time, but
yeah,
no,
the scripted race is gone. No, also the chat. I might want to focus my attention to the chat a little bit. I asked which driver they think is going to be the champion. Justin himself thinks he is not going to be the champion in the chat. But I do not see a single person saying Zalan Beater.
Interesting.
But then again, only 3 people have responded in the chat. So if you're able to, please let us know.
Quite interesting that nobody's voted for Zalan Beater, because from where I'm looking right now, he is, and I'm gonna say this, and this might be a bit of a ballsy comment. I think he's gonna come out champion. Just looking at it currently and how Justin's been, in qualifying form, and
here we go, race starting with Lewis Walker from pole, Boba in second, Diego in third, and the race is actually officially on the way right now. Somebody turning a violent left in the back of the field. Lewis Walker, though, still leading with Boba trying to get on the inside, side by side. They go through the corners, but Boba has to back out with Diego Zorzo in tow. Lucas Beisner, Isaac Leet, nearly going side by side right here, but that will have to mean Isaac Leet's going to have to try around the outside. He doesn't. Slots in behind the Mercedes. Several positions swapping back and forth on the rest of the field. Bailey Lekis and Thomas Buldra swapping positions in the back. Bailey has sung through the field, and it looks like Takubi has had a massive start, up to 11th already. Julian passing Justin Arts. Jacob Stroud actually dropping down the order really, really fast right now, down to 11th already. His teammate and championship rival of Zalan Beater, Justin Arts, already up from 14th to 9th on the field, now right behind the Mercedes there of Julian. We see also there Lola Vera going side by side with Jacob Stroud as they go into the next corner right here. He's gonna have to go around the outside and the inside, cuts the corner, but still can't find the position right there. He started on the softs as well. We'll soon bring up the tire graphic to show what everybody's doing. Isaac Lee then getting past Lucas Beisner up into 4th position, giving chase to the McLaren ahead. Let's see the tire choices right here. The top 4 has started on the mediums. Lucas Beisner and Zalan then on the hards, then several others on mediums and hards. Only Lolo Vera once again starting on the softs.
By the way, Zalan Beater is under attack from Florian into the braking zone of the hairpin. They go now. By the way, it's a battle for the championship. It's just
already.
Zalan Beater. I thought this was going to be happening later on, not on lap 2. And we're going to cross the line. They're all very close, but I must say the hard tyres are actually putting on a decent performance. Down the inside goes Zalan Beater. He's got Justin Oates on the outside, which turns to the inside for turn 2. Now coming round turn 3, the Small King. They're still going side by side. Who is going to back out? I think they're going to go side by side. Yes, they are. As Justin Oates gets pushed off. They're still going at this battle side by side through sector 1. Neither of them giving an inch as there goes Zalan Beater over the curbs, getting pushed off by Justin Ertz. Justin Ertz all over the place though. He's really made a couple of mistakes as he now lets him back by because of getting pushed off. But now look at this, almost 3 wide into a round hairpin as they make their way round. Zalan Beater now drops down to P8 behind Justin Ertz, but he ultimately holds on to P8 ahead of Julian.
That also means all this squalling going on lap 2 has allowed the group ahead to get away a little bit. That means Justin is now out of DRS range and Zalambida can breeze past him quite easily. In fact, he does so already as Zalambida re-overtakes the RB there. There's Julian as well trying to get past the championship rival, but he can't. That means now Justin is going to have DRS right here. The two championship rivals are already together, as you said, on lap 2, and here they go once again, but it's Justin this time who's gonna have to go around the outside while the battery light is... Oh, there goes Alan Beater! Absolute disaster there as he collides with the Mercedes of Julian. That is the last thing you want to happen. And off he tumbles into the distance down to P16. Some carbon flying off the car. I'm trying to figure out whether he's got damage or not. But it looks like... No, it doesn't have damage. Then it's Julian's car that has been damaged. But this is the worst possible scenario, or the second worst possible scenario for Zalon Beater to happen. Now he finds himself in 16th and Justin can breathe a sigh of relief all the way up in 7th with his teammate Jacob Stroud behind to possibly defend him from threats from behind.
Even then, I will still say, that was crazy. I just saw it happen in the hairpin. It looks like Zalambida was moving over to the right, back onto the racing line, and I believe that was Julian. Sent it round the outside, by the way. I don't think Zalambida exactly knew he was there. But even here, by the way, Justin Ertz being in 7th still doesn't give him a big lead. It doesn't really help him, you know, hugely in the championship, because next race that could turn around again.
He's desperately trying to get back to the top 6 to help himself with a little bit of DRS, but he just missed out, I believe, with a few milliseconds. Whoa, a mistake there as he goes into turn 23 and then allows his teammate to get alongside him. He easily lets him pass because he knows he's now the man who's got it all to lose as Lewis Walker retakes the lead from Boba, while we have been focused on the fight between the championship rivals as now Zalambida drops down a position. Lighty overtakes Pajecki and he re-overtakes him right there straight away. A lot of fights are happening everywhere, left, right and center. But this is crucial now for those rivals to get up as many positions as possible. Another overtake there coming up. It's Julian versus Lolo Vera. Lolo Vera with a penalty already on the soft tires making the moves. But a penalty is really not going to help the Aston Martin driver to get the 2nd point finish this season. Only 1 point on the board for the Aston Martin driver right there. We can see Lucas Beisner struggling to keep up with the top 5. He's now pretty much in no man's land, somewhat, as he tries to struggle hard to get back within the DRS range. He's struggling though out of the corner, had a bad exit as he goes into the hairpin. 1.2 seconds as Jacob Stroud tows along his potential championship winning teammate.
By the way, just Ertz, I've seen his Sector 1, he's making a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
He's hit the wall twice now during just Sector 1. And that has allowed Lolo Vera back within sort of 0.8 of a second, back within DRS, giving DRS all the way down to last place. Zalambida, though, got overtaken by his teammate for 16th.
Yep.
But I must say, it was unlucky there for Zalambida. I can't really see a problem with what Zalambida did, nor for Julian, but I think it might have just been a racing incident.
Yeah.
As Boba, by the way, takes the lead once again. We've got a 5-way battle for victory.
We do, yeah, as we were distracted by the battles happening behind. There's 5 cars. That is Boba, Lewis Walker, Diego Zorzo, Florian Vanzelter, and Isaac Lead fighting for that potential race win. Lucas Beisner, by now, has already lost another second to the group ahead, has been caught by both RB cars, Lolo Vera, and everybody behind, who are all within 1 second of each other in a long DRS train all the way down to René Klein, who in his first return to racing has now at the back of the field over Lucas Beisner with a little bit of a twitch coming out of, turn 6, as has allowed Jacob Stroud to close up even more. Seriously under pressure from both RBs, who are also, for now at least, in the faster tire. It looks like Lucas Beisner might have a little bit of a struggle keeping them both behind.
But you have some body damage, because he's really slowed down.
Yeah, a lot.
Because he's now, by the way, his first sector was again another 0.3 slower than Isaac Leap, by the way. Although he was slightly faster through that corner, his first sector was still 0.3 slower in just the first sector alone. But overall, we're going to see he's probably going to lose, I'd say, probably about 7 to 8 tenths in this lap alone to the cars in front. That's very odd, because he was keeping up, you know, just 2 laps ago. You know, 1 to 2 laps ago, and now he's just fallen behind by near on 3 seconds. He's now going to get overtaken, while these guys, by the way, one lap ago were just a second behind him.
Yep, there goes Jacob Strout and Justin Arts past the German in the Mercedes, up into 6th and 7th. Lucas Bison now down to P8, Lolo Vera in the meanwhile also starting to struggle already on the soft tires. It appears that the hard tires are actually better already, which is quite surprising this early on in the race. Look at that, there goes 2 cars. It's both Emil Landell and Julian. The man who collided with Zallenbieder up back into P9, Emil Landell up into 10th place, and Lolo Vera back out of the points. In the meanwhile, both Ferraris behind are fighting with a Haas in between them right now. A bit of a sandwich going on right there. Whoa, a bit of a bump in fact, as Baden Telecki's now connects to this small group right here. They've lost connection to the cars ahead as well. Iker Pajecki to Lolo Vera. Let's see how long it takes for Lola to be caught by both Ferraris. Lewis Walker in the meanwhile still leads the race from Boba and Diego Zorzo, as Baden Telecki's now actually tries to get past around the outside in the hairpin. Quite a brave move, and if he makes it stick, all the more impressive. And you know what? He actually does do it. Now he's giving chase to both Ferraris right there. Let's see where he's going to go to help out his teammate, because Zallenbieder has got a lot more to lose. He's still only in 16th place.
But I gotta say something. For 2 teams, you talk about struggling. There's 2 teams that I always think of this season that just struggle when I see the 2 cars, and that's the Haas's and the McLarens. They've both really struggled this season.
Yeah, it's right now. Diego Zorzo is of course one of the McLarens, but he was in the Ferrari last week because he's a reserve driver. He's pretty much pulling the team right now. Lighty and Zallenbieder still fighting right there. Lighty is sinking through the field after trying to overtake one of the Ferraris. Now down in 16th. Zallenbieder in 15th, and Lolo Vera bails out, goes for his pit stop actually in the race. Takubi and Baden Telecki's fighting for a position as well. It's Baden Telecki's getting ahead of one of the Ferraris, making actually a lot of way there for his teammate to try and attack the Ferrari behind. Zallenbieder really needs to get past quickly, as all of them have lost connection to the points.
One thing I will say, even though these guys have lost connection to the points, Baden Telecki's and Zallenbieder's pace currently, they weren't behind the Ferraris. They would be about half a second faster than the Ferraris, which would be closing them up to Emil Landell by about 3/10 a lap, which is quite a bit. I must say, that is quite a bit of time gained per lap.
Yeah.
But Zallenbieder, he's currently, what I'm looking at, he's currently trailing his teammate by about 1/10.5 to 2/10 a lap in pace. So at the moment, he is struggling to keep up with his teammate. But then there's a bit of an incident. Thomas Bulger, it's Thomas Bulger who's also around. He's in the wall. He's hitting every
his
wall.
rear into the wall as well.
He's got no front wing. He's got some front wing, just no front wing end plates.
I don't think he's got a rear wing either now. Look at the loss of grip now. He slammed so hard into the wall behind him. That completely ruined his rear wing.
Yeah. I must say though, Justin Ertz, he's not getting away with anything, is he? You know, you can't lie. He isn't really getting away with this amazing sort of time, because he's got Julian in P10, who's right behind still. So realistically, when you think about it, Justin Ertz could still drop down to P10 if he makes one mistake. And so for both championship leaders, you know, for the top 2, a small mistake, you know, we saw Zallenbieder, an unlucky mistake ultimately lost him out, you know, the lead over Justin Ertz and points. And here, once again, we're seeing the same happen to Justin Ertz here, where he's getting a little bit unlucky that he's stuck behind his teammate, and the hard tyres are getting closer and faster on pace compared to the mediums.
Yeah, the entire top 7, of course, still in the mediums, but the rest behind is actually caught up quite quickly. Lucas Beisner back in business with the 2 cars, the 2 RB cars still. The gap between Jacob and Isaac still 3.2 seconds, not yet shrinking, but this is the moment where those in the hard tires might try and make the difference, as Thomas Boeldrup retires in the pit lane. Unsurprisingly so, as his car was way too damaged to actually continue the race. It would have been quite dangerous actually to carry on. Here we go then. Lucas Beisner still chasing down those RB cars. Jacob Stroud leading his teammate right there. Justin Arts is probably gonna go and try get past right here. Same goes for Diego Zorzo. We haven't seen him lead the race yet, but here he goes up into first place, with Lewis Walker now down to second, Boba down to third. So the race for the lead is still pretty much going on quite strongly right here. Diego Zorzo, as we start lap 9, is now the race leader in his McLaren. Right behind them, we see some more battles coming up. It's Lucas Bison, for example, that gets past Emil Lundell. But Emil still going side by side, tries to take 2 cars in one go on his hard tires right there. Nearly tried to take Jacob Strode as well, but he has to settle for 8th place. But he's very, very close to the rear, the gearbox actually, of the RB ahead. As Williams right there is getting better and better every lap as the mediums drop off quick. We've already seen Thomas Lang switching from the mediums to the hards a lap ago, on lap 8, which is still somewhat early. But look at this, the struggles for the medium tire users are real when they exit out of turn 12 right there. And that nearly allowed Emil to get past in his Williams. That's how much of a difference is going on right there. Look at this, for example. The inside of the corner is why Emil finds so much more grip. He takes 1 RB, and the next one will be coming very soon indeed.
The mediums in the last 2 laps, by the way, I've just looked at the lap times. The mediums have lost 0.4 of a second in the last 2 laps.
That is a lot.
Yeah, they've lost a huge amount of time. So even if we say they're losing about 0.2 a lap, you know, we could be seeing by lap 15, you know, these tires are set to be another 0.8 slower by lap 15. So I don't think we're going to see the mediums go for much longer. As now, Emil Lundell goes up into P6. Ooh. Just still fighting that. He still thinks he's got it.
Yeah,
he's still
I think he made a mistake as well.
Yeah, now he is going to go into the pits as he wants to hold on to this championship fight. And now, heading down towards turn 1, has Emil Lundell got enough to stay in P7? He's going to fight again with the RB. Seen quite a bit of this today. But now, I think the hard tires are fully into the swing of things. And really, I think Jacob Strode is just trying to slow these guys down.
Yep, he's definitely going to hold them up. The gap already increased to 4 seconds, hovering more or less around that. The guys behind really want to get past, but it looks like Jacob wants to hold them up a little bit so he can allow potentially his teammate to undercut them by as much as possible. He's already out on track. He's 12 seconds behind René Klein right now, which is in the 3rd group, the 3rd large group behind this small one right here. Back to the front of the field though, Florian Van Zelter is really getting very close to Boba Sauber right there. The only Sauber on track tonight, by the way, is Jacob Jeschut is not present for this race, unfortunately. And he's starting to pile on the pressure. But let's switch back, because this is the moment we want to watch Jacob Strode as he sees the hard tires getting closer and closer. In fact, Lucas Bison got really close there to the Williams. And it looks like Emil Lundell is going to make the move right now. Is he going to go around the outside or the inside? Looks like it's going to be the outside, actually. Can Lucas Bison do the same from our helicopter point of view? It looks like he can do it quite easily and comfortably. And I think Jacob Strode is going to yield right here, go to the pit lane, and swap to the hards. Same goes for Florian, by the way.
Very interesting there. I think, first of all, I think Jacob Strode let them by because he knew he was coming in.
Yep, exactly.
But the one worry now is the, bit of a slide for Emil Lundell into turn 1, by the way. Drifting into turn 1. He's still struggling on his tyres a bit. The only worry now for the man of Justin Ertz is that at the moment, is his teammate going to jump him? No, he's not. But Florian is still in front. And still in front by a decent amount as well. So, for Justin Ertz, this hasn't been a huge win because he's still about the same distance behind Florian.
Yep, more or less 3.3 seconds. Gaining a little bit now that Florian is on his own. This is the moment where actually...
A small amount, but remember, he's got younger tyres as well. So maybe this could change some things round.
Yeah, of course, Justin Arts' tire, of course, a little bit warmer right now, a bit more on temperature, so that's why he gains through the corners at the moment. But this is where the individual race pace is going to be very important for both Florian and Justin. Of course, Justin has got his teammate in tow, Jacob Strode is pitted as well. But Florian Van Zelter could place a big undercut depending on how long the top 4 have decided to stay out. They are approaching the pit lane right now as they go through the last corner. They nearly go 3 wide to the final corner, in fact. Lewis Walker back in the lead with Boba, Diego Zorzo and Isaac Lead still right behind him. Let's see which drivers are going in. All 4 of them, in fact, have decided to yield straight away and go into the pit lane, and that will make Emil Lundell our new race leader.
Very interesting to see that, you know, the way that the drivers are trying to stretch these hard tyres out, isn't it? It's quite interesting because even though we know the hards are meant to go a few more laps, they're only meant to go till about lap 15. So even then, you know, the hards aren't going a lot longer than the mediums are. And so, they're only going to go about 3, maybe 4 laps longer. And what I think the hard tyres will really be calling out for, and you won't believe what I think they're going to be calling out for, and it's only one thing they could be, is a safety car.
Yep, I'm watching Florian Vanzelt. Boba nearly destroyed his own race eye, but stepping out of turn 2 a bit too much on the throttle, nearly lost the car. Looks like the undercut for Florian hasn't quite worked because of them towing each other along. He still is hanging around as what effectively is still P3, but look at the difference between Lewis Walker and Diego Zorzo. That's a gap pretty much out of nowhere. They were together when they entered the pit lane, and when they came out, it's only a 1.5 second gap, and I think that might be...
Look at Justin Ertz. He's still 3 seconds behind Isaac Leeds. So he still hasn't really gained a lot from that. Realistically, he might have gained a position or 2, but he's going to be on the worst tyres at the end.
Yeah, exactly. 2.5 seconds is way too much to cover. But what I was about to say, Boba's mistake might have cost Diego, Florian and Isaac and himself to lose connection to what is effectively the race leader of Lewis Walker. And he's still increasing that gap. In the meanwhile, Zalanbida and Takubi fighting for position. Nearly Zalanbida collides with another car right there. What's he gonna do? It's actually Iker Piasecki, I believe. Yep, coming in for the medium tires. Where is Zalanbida gonna go? Is he going to try and pass his own teammate as well? No, Balin stays in front, but he does get ahead of Takubi. It nearly went horribly wrong coming out of the final corner. And really can't use that right now, Zalanbida. But now at least he's safe in his car. I'm not sure if there's damage or not. We've seen him struggle a little bit. He finds it difficult to get past these guys, on which normally he should have the superior race pace.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult one now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some drivers being on mediums, some drivers being on hards. One of the things I'm currently thinking about is... Oh, that's Lodovero who actually retires. I just saw a yellow flag.
It was glitched out, turns out.
Yeah, so the one driver I'm really worried to see who goes onto the mediums is the man of Zalanbida, because we've seen him when he's been on medium tires. He's been just crazy fast whenever he's been on mediums. We know from previous races the hard tires have never favored him. I think we know that throughout his campaign. Whenever he's been on the hards, he's been a lot closer to the pace of others. But at this point, Justin Ertz, by the way, getting overtaken by his teammate Jacob Strode, which is going to lose him even more time there. But in this case, who do you think you're going to sort of be looking at and going, sort of who's going to be most dangerous on those mediums? And I'm just looking at Zalanbida and Balin Alikis, who have both been very on edge and very fast.
Yeah, I think those are the two we're going to have to watch out for. But it really depends on what the potential damage is on Zalanbida's car. He's now overtaken his teammates up into what is, for now at least, 4th position. Jacob Strode and Justin Aert still swapping positions left and right. I think they're trying to tow one another along, but it's not really working. The gap has already increased back up to nearly 3 seconds. It was down to 2.5 a few laps ago, but they just can't catch up to the group that is actually technically the lead group. Same goes for Diego, Boban and Florian and Isaac. They cannot catch Lewis, who's pretty much on his own. Almost 5 seconds behind the drivers who have yet to pit, and yet on his own, without any assistance of DRS or any slipstream whatsoever. He is doing quite an extraordinary job of keeping, well, Diego, Boba and Florian, we know, are very fast, yet they cannot catch him at the moment, and that, I think, is really impressive.
Very, very true. I do agree with you. Very interesting, I must say. One driver I'm looking at who has come out of nowhere slightly is the man of Lighty. He's really appeared back in this race, hasn't he? He kind of disappeared after his tyres seemed to drop off about lap 9, lap 10, and now, so 4 laps later, he's back in. He's in P6, yet to pit, but he's looking like he could be a podium contender. As now, actually, they're going to go to the pits now. Zalanbida pulling the trigger for the hard tyre runners, actually, out of this main group. Let's see how far behind they fall. They will be going to the medium tyres. That's already the Williams gone by. That's Isaac Leap P10. That's top 10. And that's the RB's gone as well. As there goes Zalanbida. He's 13th. That's 14th now. Let's see where he is going to come out in P14, but on fresh mediums. And with 10 laps, which means he won't have to run as far as the drivers who did their medium stint on, for their first stint. So I think here we might be seeing maybe maybe we could be seeing some very strong driving from these guys, because I've just seen Igor Paizeski, who has just closed in by about 0.4 of a second in the first sector to the man of Jacob Strode.
Also notice that Isaac Leet has fallen behind his group all of a sudden, and Justin Aerts has closed in a lot since the last lap. Look at the gap now, 2.2 seconds. Isaac Leet 1.2 to the group ahead. I think he might have made a mistake somewhere, and that's cost him quite dearly. It's of course the ideal opportunity for Justin and Jacob to work together even better now as teammates, to catch the car ahead and gain additional position for the man who can reclaim the championship lead tonight. He's in a very good position as long as Jacob Strode doesn't race him too hard. Quite sure though that Jacob knows that his teammate is fighting for the championship. Diego Zorzo and Boba swap positions as well as Diego goes back up into 7th place. Lewis Walker still out of the reach right now. 3 more drivers pit. Lucas Beisner, Bayon Telekis and Takubi as well.
I just want to see where Zalan Bida comes out in all of this, because he was behind these guys. Let's see. He is ahead of his teammate, by the way. He does come out in front of his teammate. Is he going to come out in front of Lucas Beisner? No, he's not. He's actually going to come out behind, quite a bit behind. Thomas Lang gets a 10-second time penalty. Thomas Lang comes our 3rd retirement of the night. But quite interesting there, isn't it? Because Zalan Bida has gained a massive amount over his teammate in just the space of one single lap.
Very powerful and medium tire undercut appears to be. Lucas Beisner is now within range of this group as well. Igor Paizechi has towed Zalan and Lighty alongside him. And that might allow Zalan Bida to get just that little bit closer to the top 10 once again. This is what he needs to do, mitigate the damage. He'll probably pray for a safety car, because that will be his best opportunity to even get close to Justin Aerts. But look at the gap though, between Justin and Lucas. It's hovering around 3 seconds. I think it's definitely possible that they can catch up to both RBs, can they?
Yeah, because it is closing down a bit. Through Sector 1, they're about 3.5 tenths faster through Sector 1. And through Sector 2, they're about another 1/10 and a half faster. So they're gaining about 0.4 to half a second a lap. Because we just saw Igor Paizeski, he closed into Jacob Strode quite a bit. There's a yellow flag, and there goes Zalan Bida. He doesn't want to wait behind Igor Paizeski.
Oh, again!
A bit too close for comfort. Maybe some dark memories coming back for Zalan Bida of the start of the race. But it's almost happened again. Lighty puts in the fast lap now, heading down towards turn 1. Zalan Bida up into P9, by the way. He's up into the points, and means that at the moment, Justin Aerts will only gain 4 points over him. Julian gets a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits.
Zalan Bida, that's the 3rd time now in this race. Once with Julian, and now with the 2nd time with one of the Ferraris. It's very uncharacteristic.
Is he being a little bit clumsy in his driving? Because that's what I'm feeling at the moment from Zalan Bida. He hasn't been sort of, the sort of passive-aggressive driving he has, where he attacks very aggressively out of nowhere and scares other drivers a bit. We haven't seen that from him today. He struggled a bit with that. I don't think Jeddah is coming together as well for Zalan Bida in race pace as he thought it was. But if he can get past Lucas Beisner, he could be only losing 2 points to Justin Aerts in the championship.
Yep, as I said, damage limitation as much as possible. He would still have the championship at this point. There goes Lighty past Igor Paizechi up into the points. Ooh, Isaac leads. That's not good news for him. A 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And both RB cars have now caught up with him as well. So the Williams, whatever he's doing, it's not going all that well, as he now has to defend from 2 very angry bulls behind him, especially Justin, who wants to gain as many positions as possible. The gap to the top 4, 3 seconds now, with Florian Van Zelter getting ahead of Boba. Jacob Strode has overtaken the Williams, so is Justin, up to P5 and 6. But look at the background, 3 seconds further back, thanks to all the DRS shenanigans in the final few sectors, or straights I should say, with Lucas Beisner there following. Right behind him, Zalan Bida, Lighty, Igor Paizeski, Julian, Emil and Del, and Takubi struggling to keep up with them.
I said about this earlier, didn't I, where, you fall into that group of a DRS train, and it's almost impossible to get out of it. And we're seeing that with Zalan Bida and Lucas Beisner here. Lucas Beisner only closing in, by the way, by 0.2 in the last lap to Isaac Leeds. And although he is closing in more and more throughout the corners, it isn't enough. When it comes down to the straights, he loses about half a second. And so for Zalambida here, he's kind of stuck, isn't he? He's stuck. He doesn't want to lead this group, nor does he want to be behind.
Yeah, it's a difficult choice for him to make. You can see, especially through Sector 1, how much Lucas gains. 0.8 of a second. But this is the moment where he's going to lose it all again. Let's see what the net gain or loss is going to be at the line. It was 3.0 last time they crossed the lines. Diego Zorzo and Boba make moves. Justin Arts the same as well, getting ahead of his teammate up into P5. 10 points for him right now versus what is only 2 points for Zalambida at this moment. Justin Arts would be the championship leader. This is fascinating to watch. They're just switching back and forth in the championship as well. Now let's see.
Here comes Zalambida. He's making the move, by the way. Sorry for interrupting. Here he goes, making the move. Maybe Lighty coming in on this battle. Now Zalambida's up into P8, and he's chasing down Justin Ertz for the life of him. But now, by the way, this allows Zalambida to be free and chasing Isaac Leeds.
Looks like he's already starting off well. 2.1 seconds. The gap is actually shrinking a little bit more, especially through this sector right here. You can see 2.0. That might just go down to 1.9, and there it goes. It's getting tighter and tighter, closer and closer. Justin probably already knows that his rival is closing in once again. While he had an accident, Zalan had. It is this time where Zalan is going to come back and shows his true race pace as he gets ahead of Lucas Bison right there. Look at the gap between himself and Lucas, already up to 0.8 of a second. Lucas will be saved by the DRS though, but it looks like, at least for now, the Alpina's got the upper hand in terms of pace. Look at that, 1.5 seconds now between himself and the Justin R's group that is ahead of him, and still every opportunity to maybe still fight with his championship rival.
Yeah, I mean, look at the pace difference this lap. They've been 0.7 has been the pace difference so far in the lap. And yeah, Zalambida's going to lose out in this final sector. But even when he does that, he's still only going to lose probably about... He's still going to gain, sorry, about 0.2 in the entire lap. But you've got to look at that first sector because of the amount he's closing in. But Lucas Basin's gotten very close to him all of a sudden. And I'm a little bit worried by this, that Lucas Basin's going to just fight for position and not think about the long-term battle.
It looks like he doesn't. That's smart, especially from Zalambida's side. He doesn't defend his position, lets Lucas through, because this is their opportunity to get closer and closer. However, Lucas doesn't have superior race pace in Sector 1 especially. Gap now 1.6, 1.7. It's hovering a little bit around that. Can it get any smaller? Oh my goodness, there goes Lighty. He taps the championship leader and spins out of control. Damage to his front wing straight away. It's a miracle he's ghosted, otherwise that would have been a lot more nasty. I'm not sure why Zalambida either. Zalambida was really slow, or Lighty was carrying way too much speed through that sector right there. But Zalambida nearly got involved into another horrible accident. The gap now down to 1.4 between Lucas and Isaac. It's still every opportunity for him, but disaster for Lighty as he completely goes out of the points.
Yeah, just I have no words there. I'm not sure what happened to Zalambida.
No.
He just was going quite slow.
Okay, so it was him going slow then.
Could have been dirty air, but at the same time, Zalambida wasn't going that slow.
No.
It was just, I think Lighty just got a much better exit going into the fast S section, and it just all changed.
All changed. Whoa, Lucas Bison coming out of the corner, banging the wall with his rear right tire right there. Loses out a little bit of speed. Where's he gonna go? They've both, by the way, shaken off the guys behind who have been fighting quite feistily as well. Zalambida now still within 1.8 seconds of the group ahead. Now they have to work together. 2 cars versus 3 in terms of slipstream and tow. But look at this, especially through these corners, how much the gap is shrinking already. We keep saying it every lap, I know, but it's fascinating to watch. Look at this now, 1.3 seconds. When Zalan is leading Lucas, it's going down a lot quicker, 1.1. This might be the opportunity for Zalambida to get back in business for the championship. 1.0. He's on the verge, and a purple first sector with it as well. He's going really, really fast. 0.8, and he's back. He's back. After this disaster, 3 incidents that nearly cost him a lot more than just a little bit of damage to his car. He is back in business, and it's all up for grabs for both of them.
Justin Ertz is going to be very frustrated that his lap has not been enough. He's struggled this lap. Whenever he has led this group, by the way, they've lost out more than half a second in the first sector. So Justin Ertz, he's really struggling for pace now, and Zalambida is making these mediums work.
Yeah, you were absolutely right about him being so strong on it. But look at the pace he has got now. Look at Justin Arts, he's fallen behind. Oh, a yellow flag. That's Light. He crashed out, and it's a safety car. It is an actual safety car in Saudi Arabia. Both Haas cars out. An opportunity for drivers to pit. Frankly, Justin stays out. But I think it is because he knows the lead of the race has managed to get past the safety car. And that means they can continue on for another lap. And he can save his tires to go one lap fresher.
Yeah, he might be able to do that. But think about when they all come around. But
I mean,
it might be. But remember, when he comes in, he's going to be going much slower into the pit lane than these guys will go. Because the safety car limit doesn't happen until you get round to the start.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how this is going to play out. I mean, they cannot catch up to each other. Because they all have to drive at a certain speed, a certain lap time. That's what they have to adhere to, of course. So the gaps will stay as they are, more or less, of course. And I'm sure that everybody in the top 5, they have to come in. Otherwise, they're just sitting ducks. Everybody behind on fresh softs. Julian on 5-lap old mediums, but the top of the field on old hard tires. Not something you'd like to see as Boba tries to get ahead of Lewis Walker, frankly. I'm not sure why. Julian might stay out, you think?
Yeah, he might, because there's only going to be 2 laps left of this race.
Okay.
So think about it. 2 laps. There's only going to be 2 laps left.
That's
so
actually a good point.
And he's only on 5-lap old mediums. Does it make much sense to change tires and to lose out places? No. Yeah. So at this moment, I don't know what could happen, but either way, this has changed everything up now. Because
let's see what they're going to do.
What looked like for Zalambida an easy increasing his championship lead now looks like it could be him losing out more. So all the top 5 do come in ultimately. These guys now rushing around as fast as they can.
They completely destroy the pit lane entry sign.
They're coming around as fast as they can. They're going for it. They need to go for it.
Here they come.
Of course.
This is going to be a race on the safety car condition. What's going to happen? Lewis Walker exiting the pit lane right now. This is where he can actually go full speed. The safety car is still a long way away. It's actually waiting at the end of the first sector, which is really, really far. But it looks like they've managed to do it. And Justin Arts, look at that. He's gained positions by staying out. He's now in 4th position. It's incredible.
But the only risk Justin Arts now has is that he has got faster drivers behind him.
But he is on the fresher tires.
Yeah, but Diego Zorzo, remember, it's only 2 laps. Only 2 laps. So it's essentially single lap pace that these guys are looking at basically now.
Two hot laps.
Yeah, and Justin Ertz was not up there, was he? He was not up there in qualifying pace. And so in this case, I could generally see Justin Ertz dropping through the field. Just in this case, because it's 2 laps. And Justin Ertz, he's struggled when it comes down to moments like this.
The safety car has to come in at the end of this lap, and then we'll find out which strategy has worked best. Can Justin Arts hold his own against those potential faster drivers behind? Diego Zorzo and Isaac Lead have been in the lead group all race long, find themselves in 5th and 7th right now. They will not be too happy with that. Lewis Walker still leads from Boba and Florian Vanzelte. Justin from 14th is in 4th at the moment. His teammate is in P6. He could be a crucial part in defending feistily against, for example, Zalambida, of course, who's down in P8. Let's see what the time penalties are before we get back to racing. All of them have 3 seconds to their name. But this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Could this be a championship deciding moment for Zalambida and Justin Arts, or are we going to take the championship to the final race? Lewis Walker going very slow, warming up his tires as much as possible. The safety car has just gone through the final corner. Boba trying to follow and trying to react as quick as he can when Lewis Walker gets on the way. Let's see when Lewis Walker is going to go for it. I think it's going to be close to the line, is it? Yes, it is. He's still not going for it, but there he goes, actually. Off he goes into the distance, trying to break the toe from Boba, but Boba is pretty much already there. Same goes for Florian Vanzelte, and Justin Arts already under threat from Diego Zorzo from behind, but he has to go make his way around the outside. There comes Jacob Strode, trying to help out his teammate. That is crucial for Justin Arts right there, with Jacob Strode getting ahead. In fact, Diego Zorzo has been tapped around. I think there might have been a contact there with the other RB car. And that's the race over for Diego. A major threat for the race lead.
That's not good, because that's allowed Zalambida to get another place closer.
That's also a good point, yes.
That's actually not helped his teammate in this. It's actually made things worse, because Zalambida is on his way to finish P6 and only, by the way, only lose 4 points to Justin Ertz. That's kind of gone the wrong way round there.
Yeah, Justin has to make more moves. The podium is within his sight, but Jacob's throat is closing out to him as well. I'm sure Jacob is not going to fight his teammate at this stage of the race with 1.5 lap to go. They are right behind one another. Zalanbila a lot closer to Isaac Lead at this stage. No DRS yet, but the DRSs are getting burned all the way to 0% pretty much. And he's getting closer and closer to the Williams. Some extra points in the bag never really hurt. And it's crucial that he keeps the gap to Justin as large as he possibly can. Is he going to make the move? Is he going to make a dive in turn 27? Looks like he might still be a bit too far away. Indeed, decides to play the patience game, but the patience is going to start to run thin. Lewis Walker still leads as we approach now the final lap in this brilliant Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Look at Justin Arts. He's going to try and make the move in turn 1. Florian goes defensive. He defends brilliantly the Aston Martin. Stays within the podium right there. Justin Arts trying to get as close as he can. Diego Zorza obviously retiring from this wave of damage to the car. Lucas Beisner trying to get past Iker Bajecki side by side in Sector 1. That might turn out disastrous. It nearly turned out disastrous, actually. Iker and Lucas still going side by side. In the meanwhile, a bit further ahead, Isaac Lead getting closer and closer to Jacob's throat. The teammate helping out Justin Arts for the championship. Zalan Beater still hanging around in 7th place, but there is still DRS coming up as we approach the final 2 sectors of this amazing Grand Prix so far. Justin Steele's got a good shot at Florian Vanzelter. Florian appears to be struggling a little bit. The Aston Martin having a hard time keeping the man of Justin Arts behind in that RB. Just one more big straight to go, and this one as well, and then we'll know who will be leading the championship and of course who will be winning the race, because Boba is closed up to Lewis Walker as well. There we go then, 3 more corners to go technically, and all the batteries are wide open. DRS is wide open, pedal to the metal. What's going to happen? There goes Isaac Lead ahead of Jacob's throat. Jacob doesn't care. The top 3 go side by side in the final corner. Lewis Walker, Boba and Florian. It's going to be a sprint to the line. Who's going to come out best? And it looks like, well, it's going to be Florian Vanzelter winning the race from Boba, and Justin Arts somehow pipped Lewis Walker to 3rd. How on earth did that happen?
I have no clue.
That must have been the closest finish all season.
I think that is.
My goodness me.
Holy.
Now I need to take a breather. You do the race results.
Holy, that I have no words for that at all.
Look at that.
Let's head to the race results. Florian Vanzelter wins. By the way, I believe he's the first ABS driver to win.
And the 9th different driver as well.
Yeah. Florian Vanzelter wins here in Saudi Arabia. That is then followed by Boba, who got so close yet so far. Justin Ertz gets a miraculous podium that he needed. Lewis Walker, disappointment for him at the line, P4. Jacob Strode finishes in 5th, with Zalan Bida sticking in 6th place. And he might lose out 7 points to his championship rival, but that is going to keep him in the title fight going into the finale.
1 point difference in the finale.
Ooh. Lucas Beisner finishes 7th with Julian in 8th. Takubi gets into the points.
Yep.
Isaac Leet finishes 10th. Benelicki's 11th. Emil Lundell 12th. Igor Pajeski in 13th. Rene Klein in 14th. Diego Zorzo ultimately retiring on the final lap. Followed by then Lighty, Thomas Lang, Lolo Vera, Thomas Bolger, of all the rest of the retirements.
Incredible. 1 point separating Justin in the favor of him in the final round of this season.
That's nothing when it actually comes down to it. When you think about it, that's basically nothing that separates them.
No.
Because 1 point is not the difference between positions.
If they somehow finish equal on points, the championship will go to Justin because he's got 2 race wins to his name, as opposed to none for Zalan. Wow. I mean, that was an incredible race. Last race, we thought things were a bit shifty here and there, but this, let's be fair, Epic, it has been quite extraordinary.
Oh, it has. There's just no words for this at the moment. I've got nothing. I've got no words. Actually, no words.
Let's see if I can tag the top 3 for an interview. I would especially like to hear from Justin Arts. Oh, he's already waiting. As usual, Justin, up bright and early, so let's drag him in straight away. Justin Arts, 14th on the grid, and by some miracle, 3rd on the line. We were so confused of what happened there. I think you must be as well.
G29 luck, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
G29
I
really
mean,
does give
that's a
you-
good point. You've got a G29 steering wheel, you're still there. So how did you do it?
To be honest, to say I deserve 3rd would be not true.
Mhm.
I think very clearly it would have been, I think, 5th at most. Yeah, no, I mean, the entire race just didn't go great apart from the end. Lost the DRS train because of fighting with Zalin. Unfortunately, he got beached on the curb, which, isn't a great game design, to be honest. Or then after that, the person in front of me didn't have DRS to the train in front, so it was just about selling for 5th DRS train with Jacob, which worked for a while until we came across Isaac, who meant doing a 3-person DRS train was a lot harder. But then, yeah, the end, to be honest, I'm more surprised at the fact that they didn't die in the final corner going through wide. I was kind of hoping they'd, kind of
Yeah,
T-bone
I
each
saw
other
you
and
just
then
waiting
I'd win
behind
the
them
race.
patiently, weren't you?
Yeah, and then I somehow got DRS on Lewis, who I presume in all that was ahead at the DRS detection line, and then somehow finished 3rd. But insane race.
Insane is is an understatement, I'd say, in this circumstance. I mean, at the championship, we've just calculated you're leading by 1 singular point
My
now.
goodness.
So
Basically,
Japan
nothing,
just left with the different steering wheel. How do you see your chances?
Japan's been pretty good to me this season. Qualifying wise, I don't know with this wheel, to be honest. Because I was faster in practice on this wheel than I was with my Fanatec in qualifying. Unfortunately, I just mistimed the end of qualifying, so I couldn't do another lap. But yeah, next race is basically just going to be finishing ahead of Zalin, because like you said, 1 point, even if I'm right behind him or right in front of him, it's a 2-point gap, so it really is about whoever finishes in front.
Is it going to be an all or nothing approach? A little bit of an Ayrton Senna-like approach, or is it going to be different for you?
Just crash into Zalin turn 1, yeah.
Exactly. No, let's
No,
not bring you on
yeah,
any
like
ideas, shall we?
Yeah, definitely not.
Epic. What's any questions from your side?
I've absolutely got none because that was just a performance too good. Ultimately, how does it feel that you almost, after qualifying, felt that your championship chances sort of might have slipped away in that moment, to then come back in the race and go, oh, look at me, I'm now leading.
To be honest, the mentality was I was listening in the commentary box and then listening to, I think it was you, Epic, who said, I can smell, just having a mega performance today and then next week clinching the title or whatnot when you're predicting. So, that motivated me. And, a lot of it was luck. And my main goal today was really just finish behind as close as I can to Zalin. But for what happened today, I don't think I could have predicted.
Well, all I can say, you and Zalin both have been absolutely brilliant this season, and I can't wait to see how this is going to end.
Me too.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye-bye.
Right, so let's drag in the unexpected race winner, Florian Van Zelter. Man, that was one extraordinary race, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm exhausted.
I can imagine, yeah. I mean, especially those final few laps were absolutely mental, I'd say, those final 2 laps. Take us through your race, because you've been in the lead group all the time, and to win the race by only, what was it, half a tenth?
Yeah, couple times.
So how was this race for you in general?
So yeah, I only checked in late because I would have had school tomorrow, but I got tested positive for COVID.
Ooh.
So yeah, but still I had the energy to race today, and I only had half.
You dropped off a little bit there. I think... Yeah,
COVID's costing him.
I think his internet might have gotten COVID as well. No, that's just rude to say. Sorry. Florian, if you can hear us, we can't hear you right now. But yeah, I think he was saying that despite the COVID, he managed to do quite well. And I think I agree with him, because to be sick and still have the energy to race is quite an achievement.
I can barely roll out of bed.
Exactly.
And that's when I'm well. Um, yeah, I mean, still, ultimately, I think we know what he was going to say, really. Didn't expect to get the victory at the line.
Yeah.
The hopes and dreams were there, but, he turned around his race, really. Because at one point we were saying he was struggling and then he came
Yeah.
back with it. Ultimately, for me, I've got to say Florian is my driver of the day. And you might say, why is it not Justin Ertz? P4, was it P14 to P4 something?
Third.
But that is
Yeah.
to P3. And the only reason why I'm saying it's not is because his race was very up and down. Versus Florian, who had his little bit of a low moment, but he really did kick back in that last stint.
Yeah, I can totally see where you're coming from. He's done a brilliant job. Unfortunately, we cannot interview him any further because it looks like the internet issues or whatever's going on. Maybe it's Discord. I've got his volume at max, but I can't see him speak, and now he's disconnected as well. So it looks like...
I think his internet died.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Either way, well done to you, Florian, if you can still hear us or listen this back later. Good on you. Congratulations. You're the 9th different race winner out of 10 races this season. It's absolutely extraordinary. This season has been one epic journey so far, hasn't it?
Yeah, this is a season of dreams, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, despite some races here and there that were on race moves a little bit shifty, as I said before, all in all, I can say it's been a great season, and especially with this last race coming of 1 point separating the Zalon Beater and Justin Arts. I mean, who would have thought that at the start of the season? I mean, it wouldn't be...
We thought he was going to dominantly win the championship. I mean, I
exactly.
said this earlier. We thought he was going to... I mean, at one point, wasn't he? He was leading by, 20 or 30 points? He was taking the championship very well. And then, I don't know what happened to him after round 5, but it's all fallen apart.
That's where he just lost a lot of points. 14th, then back in business in 3rd in Abu Dhabi, but then still Zalambida finished ahead of him. And then in Monza as well, that's where Zalambida outperformed him. Then he missed Bahrain, and then when he came back in Mexico, he managed to win that one, and now again ahead of Zalambida. It's like you said, it's a bit of an up and down season, but overall, I mean, to still be there now leading by 1 point is quite an incredible achievement by both of them, because both of them have been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, you can't really say anything about these two drivers. They are, in all of my experience of PC Tier 3, these are probably two of the most equal drivers you could find. And in my opinion, Zalambida has been the most consistent driver I've ever seen in this tier.
That's a fact, judging by his race results too. There's no denying that one. Anyway, this is actually the end of the stream for tonight. You can see the calendar on the screen one more time. It's not that difficult anymore to figure out what's going on next week. Japan, the season finale. Zalen versus Justin. Make sure to let us all know who you think is going to win the championship. Cheer on your favorite driver. And in the meanwhile, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, because Epic will know if you don't. I've been told.
I will. I'll find where you live. No, I'm kidding. I just won't care about you. But I mean, I will know.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure so far, and let's see what happens next week around Suzuka. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. See you next week, same place, same time as usual. Until then, goodbye.